Today we are going to discuss about what is language and the relation with cognition. It is stated that the language is the cognition is based upon the language. The cognitive processes are developed by language development. So today we are analyzing it. What is, first of all, we will learn what is cognitive development. What do you mean by cognitive development? Cognitive development means the cognitive development refers to internal process and product of the mind leading to knowledge development. It's an internal process and the product of mind. Internal process means there are various processes in your mind, that's memorizing, remembering, thinking, etc. are here highlighting here. And the product of the mind is the marks, etc. So it covers a wide aspect of mental activity. So it covers a wide aspects, that's memorizing, categorizing, and symbolizing. Memorizing means memorize anything which you know, which you learned. It helps, the language helps in memorizing it. Okay, next is categorizing. In order to categorize what you learned, the language helps for the development of this categorizing. Symbolizing, it's a thing that the the letter in the language is simple. Then problem solving and creativity. The problem solving and creativity is the cognitive development aspect, but it is related to language development. Another thing is inventions. The inventions are also done through the cognitive product. It's a product of the cognition. Dreaming and fantasy. Dreaming is another thing that we dream. Our dream is based upon our cognitive aspect. Dream is a cognitive aspect. It's stated by Sigmund Freud in his psychological idea. He stated the dreaming is a part of the cognitive development. Next one is reading and writing. Reading and writing is also a cognitive development process. Then it's proved that cognition and language has a relation. That means without language, cognitive development will not happen. Next one is language acquisition. Language is acquired on the basis of cognition. It has opposite relation also. The language develops cognition and cognitive aspect is related to language. It's a thing. Language and cognition. Just we are going to analyze it. Humans are not born with language, but they learn with over time. All the humans are born, but without the language. They didn't know what to say, what is saying, and how it is pronounced. But they learn with over time. It is based upon their cognitive aspect. As our mind learns language, the language creates a framework that allows our mind to form consistent and conscious thoughts. We have a consistent and conscious thought. It's based upon the language. The language makes a frame out for it. Next one is language allows our mind to process the information in consistent way. In order to make our language, make our cognitive aspect in a consistent way, we needed language. More language we learn, the faster our mind may be able to work. That's the thing, that our more you learn the language aspect, faster will be your mind works and cognitive development will be faster. We have some examples like small children is growing their cognitive aspect on the basis of language. First of all, they learn language, and after their cognitive process is starting. Helps for effective way for respond to various situations. It helps to it helps to respond in an effective way based upon the situation. That's a problem solving. Help to think in image. It helps the mind to interrupt and reasonable information. Right. Written language is converted system of image. Already I stated it. The written language is the converted system of image in your mind. So the converted system of image is developed through thinking. That's the relationship between language and cognition. Language has important role in memory and thinking. In order to make proper memorization and thinking, we need language. Helps to transfer of thoughts from one mind to another. In order to transfer idea from one mind to another, we need a language. Then only we have to develop our mind from making communication with each other. If communication is better, our thinking will grow. Thoughts came first, while language expression of it. Language is expressing it, but thoughts came first. By language we can express the idea. It's a chart of cognition and language. You can see that cognition is related to language. Cognition means perception, action, social communication, culture, body experience, emotions, etc. These all are based upon language. These all are packed up with the language. So cognition and language has a good connection. It's also a chart based upon language and cognition. Cognitive aspect in language, description of abstract thoughts. It's starting from below. Sensory motor signal. First of all, it's a cognitive process, but in it, language process is sensory motor language model. That's language. Sound is at the early stage. Children make different sounds. It's a signal learning. It's based upon signal learning. It's a cognitive aspect. But sensory motor language model is there. The language has a connection with the memory aspects. Next one is word for object. Words are formed by seeing the objects. Cognitive part is the object. They learn about object, but it's formed as words in language. Next, phrases for situations. Next stage is they use language on the basis on the situation, based upon the situation. The situation is the process of the mind. It's a problem solving technique. It's a some cognitive process. It's based upon the phrases. It's supported by phrases, situation and phrases. It's language part. Last one, language descriptions of abstract thought. After it, there will be abstract thought. The abstract idea is the cognitive process, but abstract word phrase is the language process. Abstract idea is based on language, abstract phrases. So language and cognition has very, very big connection. So it's a research part is there is a connection between language and cognition. The researchers are looking for new ideas from the language and cognition, connection of language and cognition in our mind. So that's all in this class. We will see another part in another class. Thank you for hearing me.